Ready for this one. 2 months ago, former Vice President Al Gore spoke to Reuters on the coming fiscal cliff by reminding everyone of the Clinton years.
The single most popular proposal we had was to reduce taxes on working people and lift the higher rate. Let's give an incentive to work, and let's ask the most fortunate in our society, including me and you, to do our fair share. And we ought to do that again.
They ought to do their fair share. Well, as it turns out, the liberal multimillionaire mogul tried to push to complete a deal to sell his current TV channel to Al Jazeera before any of the new tax hikes would affect his big payday. Stuart Varney joins us live. So, Stuart, let's get this straight. Al Gore wanted to unload current television during the George Bush era tax rates before the Obama tax rates that harken back to the Clinton-Gore tax rates went into effect.
I don't want to spoil the mood on the Kirby couch, but, let's call it for what it is. That is gross hypocrisy. Yeah. Here's Al Gore, extremely wealthy, ultra-leftist. He's scrambling to book a profit on the sale of his TV network last year, when the tax rates are low. He'll do anything to avoid selling it this year. That's what happened, when he has to pay a higher tax rate. That is hypocrisy.
Reportedly, he sold it for $500 million, and he gets 20% of that, so he gets $100 million. But the sale, even though you say he was scrambling beforehand, there are reports that he didn't go into effect until January 2nd.
Right. Okay.
So he ends up having to pay the new one, but to your point, he was desperately trying.
He was trying to avoid
make the most money on that profit.
Hold on a second. Here's hypocrisy.
Which is a great instinct to have.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, that's what he should be doing, right? That's
who's signing off on this one.
He's actually making a good business move, but it just flies in the face of what he says.
Thank you. Yes. How do you feel about guys who say, "Hey, you, Brian, you got to pay more money in tax. I think it's a good thing. We should all share the sacrifice. Oh, but I'll do my utmost to avoid paying the tax that I'm forcing on you."
Well, you know how Google parks their money offshores, as well as GE, and they find themselves in the Oval Office every other day, consulting the president on international business practices.
May I move on to hypocrisy number 2?
Please.
Okay, thank you. Al Gore sells this current TV to Al Jazeera, which is owned by the oil sheikdom of Qatar, right? So Big Al, who hates big oil, is actually making a ton of money by selling it to big oil. Is that not right? Is that not hypocrisy?
It is so. You don't even have to say the word hypocrisy. You just have to say the statement. People at home use the word hypocrisy in their own kitchen in their bathrobe with rollers in their hair.
They do.
Thank you. But the other interesting thing about that is it's not that they were the only potential buyer. He had other people trying to court current TV, and one of them was Glenn Beck and the Blaze, but apparently their philosophies didn't dovetail enough for Al Gore to be comfortable with, according to reports.
Al says to Glenn Beck wants to buy this TV network, so Al says, no, we're very sensitive to the networks not being aligned with our point of view. In other words, get lost, Glenn Beck, but okay, big oil, the sheikdom of Qatar.
And Al Jazeera, that's their point of view? You could see more eye to eye with Al Jazeera than Glenn Beck, Mr. Red, White, and Blue?
May I move to the disgrace of this situation?
You're doing a lot of
Every time I say something, he moves.
This is the former Vice President of the United States of America.
Right.
And he sells his news network to a clearly anti-American news channel called Al Jazeera.
Now you've hit
on it. Are you kidding me?
That is just crazy.
Sorry if I spoiled the mood on the Kirby couch,
But you know what? Being a great American businessman, his first instinct, like Brian pointed out, he was trying to save as much money as he could. Now, look, we don't like the tax policy that he likes.
Okay.
But that was his inclination.
Why are you calling him a great American businessman?
Because
what business did he create? He parlayed his political influence to being good friends with the people who run Google.
Right.
He got Google stock at the offering price and made a ton of money. Is that a great businessman?
And Apple.
He sat on the board of directors at Apple, yes.
He and Joel Hyatt were able to create this television network that nobody watched and unload it for $500 million. How great is that?
Okay, all right.
You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I got you.
And
I got you.
You got me. He was trying to pay the George Bush era tax rate rather than the Bill Clinton
Did I not make this clear?
No, that's all part of it. I was trying to move to this.
I had trouble with Stuart Varney, too, so you're not the only one. Everything I brought up, he didn't like.
No,